welcome back to Book with Keba, the podcast where we talk about books, book culture, and all opinions that come with being emotionally attached to fictional characters. I'm your host, Keba. Whether you're reading on a Kindle, listening to an audiobook, or trying to squeeze in one more chapter before bed, thank you for spending a part of your day with me. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's get booked. Today's episode is one I've been wanting to do for a while because dark romance is one of those genres always get people talking. The minute someone says dark romance, the comments lights up. Some people love it and some won't even touch it with a 10-yard stick. Some people think that anyone who reads it needs therapy, and sometimes they really do. I'm just joking, I'm not, but they really do need therapy overall. I'm not here to argue with anyone or tell them what they should read or shouldn't be reading because I really do enjoy a good dark romance. Yep, I've said it. I'm one of those readers who will finish a sweet contemporary romance and immediately pick up a heavy dark romance like nothing happened. This isn't coming from someone who dislikes the genre. It's coming from someone who genuinely enjoys it and also know where their personal boundaries are. So let's talk. Where do I draw my line? What is even dark romance? Before I get into my opinions, let's make sure that we're talking about the same thing. Dark romance explore themes that are heavier than the typical romance. These stories often include uncomfortable, dangerous, or morally complex situations such as mafia romance, morally gray heroes, organized crime, obsession, revenge, power imbalance, captivity, psychological manipulation, violence. And not every dark romance include all of these elements, but the situations are usually more intense, the stakes are higher, and the characters aren't always making good decisions. And honestly, that's the part that appeals to me most of the times. Sometimes we want to read people we never want to meet in real life. That's the luxury of fiction and good storytelling. That's also why I always encourage readers to check content warnings before starting a book. They're not there to spoil the story. They're there to help readers to make informed decisions because everyone has different boundaries. So where do I draw my line? So for me, it comes down to one word: consent. I know this one is a big conversation in dark romance community. I also know every reader boundaries are different. I'm not here to tell anyone where their line should be. I'm only sharing mine. And for me, consent really matters. Not consent because someone is terrified, not because they feel like saying no isn't an option. That's where I personally stop enjoying romance if that's the only thing that is there. And she doesn't have any idea what she can't say no because she either is going to be getting raped regardless of her saying no or getting beat up if she says no and then get raped. Because at that point, it doesn't feel like two people are building a relationship anymore. It feels like fear and only fear. And once that feeling gets in, I stop believing in that relationship and the emotional investment that I had from before, it is gone. And that's simply my boundary. Another thing that always loses me is no plot. Have you ever finished a book and realized nothing actually happens in there? Yes, there were shocking scenes and there was violence and there were intimate scenes, loads of it. But if someone asks what the story was about, and honestly, I couldn't tell them because there wasn't a real story. There was just events, one shocking moment after another. For me, dark romance should still be a romance. There should be character development. I want meaningful conflict, the crescendo of issues. You know, that moment where you look at it and say, oh my, what is going to happen here? Are we going to get a third act breakup? The darkness should support the story. It shouldn't be the story. Shock value alone isn't enough. The darker the story gets, the stronger the plot needs to be. Otherwise, I stop caring. What I love about dark romance is that give me a dangerous man, one everybody fear, one whose name alone make people nervous, the one who burns the world down to protect the one he loves, and give me a touch her and you'll die trope. I love protective heroes. I love morally great characters. I love watching a man who seems impossible to reach slowly reveal another side of himself because of this one person. I don't need him to become perfect. I need him to lose a little bit of his rough edge because this young lady is softening him up. I just need to believe that these two people belong together overall. And I just love a good story like that. One thing I've heard a lot of people in these dark romance community arguing, and I know that they're not dark romance readers. They probably just see a couple books and haven't read it. The conversation that comes up is that if someone enjoyed dark romance, they must want that kind of relationship in real life, or it warps your mind to thinking that this is the reality that you would want to have. I don't think that's fair. We watch horror movies without wanting to be chased by monsters. We watch crime dramas without wanting to commit crimes. We read fantasy without expecting dragons to show up tomorrow in the sky. Fiction gives us a safe place to explore what we've never choose for ourselves in our own lives. Just because someone enjoys reading about mafia boss doesn't mean that they're hoping to date one. Not all dark romance readers are saying hoping to be kidnapped tomorrow. Reading is personal, and that's one thing I love most about book. There's room for all of us. I love a good dark romance where we can all say this. A young man falls in love with this young lady, more like enthralled. What I think is a really good catalyst for a good mafia romance is this young lady, her friend invites her up to this club. She is having her time of her life, and this mafia boss just happened to be in there. And she's like, hey, she's a little bit tipsy when he comes in and she bones up in him. And he's like, yeah, he grabs her and like saying, watch where you're going. And she's like, because he grabs her throat, she's like, oh my God, I love this hand chokehold. What do you get? Can I have more of it? Or something like that. And he is so enthralled by the fact that she is not faced by him. And he's there watching her the entire night as she enjoys herself with her girlfriends. And she is dancing, and he can't get her out of his mind for days and weeks to come. When he decided that he's going to collect on a debt that somebody owes him, the father gives up his daughter and said, hey, take her instead because I can't pay off this debt at this moment. Then when he bring out the daughter, he realizes the same girl from the club. He is going to be standing on business because he doesn't know this girl from a can of paint, other than the fact that he's enthralled by her in the club and couldn't get her out of his mind. And he's going to put her in one of these bottles because guess what? He wants the debt to be paid off. But he says, you know what? I'm going to sample my product before anybody gets the opportunity to. When he realized that the darker, the rougher the sex becomes, she gets so much into him. And he's like, oh my God, this is my kind of girl. This is my kind of carrying on. She likes break plays, all of those kind of things that he's in, that he is so afraid to actually try with other women that he would call his. And he's like, crap, I can't get so attached to this girl. I'm not going to do this anymore. This is one hit and done. Then he tries back again because he said, he can't stop thinking about this young lady and her laugh and how she just carries herself around every day. Then he's like, yeah, I'm going to just continue to be with her because I need to get her out of my system. He decided that, hey, he's going to put her in the bottles to work. When he finally puts her in the bottle, this guy ended up hurting her. And he decided that, hey, he's going to end this man's life because you should not have hurted this girl. Then they start their relationship like full outright, like, yep, this is my girl. I don't care who is it. The father sees the girl and decide that, hey, she's living a life of luxury. He wants in on it. And because she said kick rocks, he decided that, hey, I'm going to actually get rid of her because I can't bask in this glory, you can't either, and end up hurting her. He's wondering where she is, thinking that she ran away. Only to find out that she's in the hospital. When he actually finds her and find out what happened to her, he ended up killing the dad. And the story continues. That's what I would think is a really good dark romance for me. And I know other people would definitely like that. At the end of the day, the conversation isn't about dark romance, it's about storytelling. And I think good recommendations out there, and I'm seeing lights out which I've yet to find, yet to read as yet, but I know Her Soul to Take. There's an entire series that follows that, and it's an amazing series. I read H.D. Carlton, and I know there's a lot of people having their own at the time there. The Anonymous series is actually a good dark romance. They classify it as a dark romance. The Cruel Prince is definitely on. And these are some good dark romance to start with. For me, the best dark romance never forgets to tell a good love story. Yes, the hero can be dangerous. Yes, the stake can be high. Yes, the world can be dark. But I still need to believe in the relationship. I still need the characters to grow. I still need the plot to keep turning the page, because if all I'm reading, page after page, is violence, abuse, or shock value without any emotional payoff, I'm not connecting with the story anymore. I'm just waiting for it to end, and the life is too short to read books you're not enjoying. So read what makes you happy. Respect other readers' choice. And never feel like you have to force yourself through a book because everyone loves it. Before I go, I want to leave you with this question. Where do you draw the line in this dark romance, son? Is there a trope you will read every single time? Or there's one that has an automatic note for you? Come find me on Instagram or Spotify or TikTok and let me know. I'm genuinely love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for spending time with me. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow the podcast and leave a rating if your platform allows it. It really helps more readers to discover Book with Keba. Until next time, happy reading and stay book.